Good morning, everybody. Hi again, it's Holly, and welcome back to my channel, Smile by Holly. So I'm showing you a brand new knickknack that's out today from Knitwit Collections, and this is called Ripple and Rest. And it has such a fun summer feel with flamingos and really pretty pinks and really pretty aquas. So we are going to be making this together. I've had quite a few comments of people just barely getting into Knitwits, and so they're a little unsure as to how to build these. And so we'll build this one together, and I'll show you how fun and easy it is. Now the kit that coordinates with the Ripple and Rest knickknack is the Lakeshore Cottage Collection. I spilled a little Diet Coke on there. But anyway, you've got some fun little paddles, some fish, some flamingos, hibiscus flowers, really cute sentiments. So this is just a fun summery flavor collection. Once again, this is the Lakeshore Cottage Collection, which is on sale for a limited time at 30% off. So I will leave a link down below. Go in and check out this and then the brand new knickknack that's out today called Ripple and Rest. Let me show you my knickknack. So here is my knickknack, Sending Sunshine. And up here it says, "This way to the fun." Isn't that cute? I've added some iridescent little sequins in there, and oh my goodness, this card just sparkles. Now, the sequins are packed in there. It kind of was a mistake, but you know in crafting, so when you make a mistake, you just make it part of the craft. So I added so many sequins that they still wiggle in there, but I had packed them in so much that I realized after I had put the base on top of the base that I had added too many. But you know what? I think it looks really cute. So we're going with a lot of sequins into our shaker. But look how cute this is. This opens up, and I thought it made the back side kind of nice to be able to see all those sequins. Now you can make this card a shaker or not a shaker. So there's different options. The way I'm going to show you today, we're going to turn it into a shaker. But then look at this cute back page. Hope you have a great day, and then this paddle says relax. Isn't that just fun? So we are going to make this today, and in all honesty, I was a little stumped when I went to make this just because it has this little teeny tiny hinge in there. And so that's why I thought this would be an ideal card to make with you so I can show you how to use this hinge. It looks just like a strip of paper that says score, fold, and glue under frame to make card hinge. But this is actually the hinge, and you are going to be folding it in half. That's going to make a little teeny tiny hinge for our card. So we'll set that aside for now, but let's go ahead and make this beautiful fun card called Ripple and Rest. So we'll set that aside. Now this card also comes with its own envelope. Look how nice that coordinates, that pink hibiscus flower with this. So we'll put that right there. Here, let's bring in all the different pieces and I will show you. So all of the different pieces. How are you guys doing today? Tell me what you've been working on. You know, it's kind of that point where a lot of people have gone into like fall and Halloween. I'm still doing summer, but I'm so excited to start doing Halloween projects. Okay, I'm just adding a couple of things. Okay, so let's get started. Here is my envelope, and this is what it looks like. What you want to do is you want to score right along this pink edge. Score right along. Now, I've already scored it, so let me show you. When you fold it, it makes this little teeny tiny lip. And that's what's going to make your envelope. So you would take this piece and lay it on top of that piece to make your envelope. Then I also scored right along here because that is for the flap. So do you see, once you get that glued together, you've got your cute little envelope. Now I won't take the time to make the envelope. Let's just jump into the card. But if you're wondering how that works, these just make a little teeny tiny fold and then you line this up. Okay? So I'll set that aside. Now let's look at all the different pieces. Got sequins all over my desk. So here is going to be one of our base pieces. Now I went ahead and I added some acetate to this. So I've added my acetate. Can you see that? Let's see if you can see that. And then I took this page and I added acetate to it also. I wanted my shaker to be see-through. So what we're going to be doing is, let me open this up so you can see it. This is the inside page. So we are going to be layering this on top of this with our sequins in the middle. And then we'll start to build out the front of the card. So let me show you what I've done. Now I added 2 layers, or I'm going to be adding a second layer onto this. I thought I would do it with you, but I've added 2 layers of pop dots in each of the corners. And then I just took some thin tape, and it's foam tape, and I outlined this. Now, no one is going to see this, so, you know, it doesn't have to be exactly right around. But let's go ahead and I'm going to add a second layer to this. The reason you would add 2 layers of foam tape is to A, make it more dimensional, but when you're making a shaker, it helps for those little shaker bits to move around a little bit more. So we're going to put a layer on top of a layer. Now my desk is just looking messy. Okay, so a layer on top of a layer. And I'll just do this with you so you can see. Don't have to be exact. You just don't want it to be where it's clear, because then you would see the tape, right? Okay. So how has your summer been? Has it been good? If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I do a ton of camping. In fact, we camp all the way through September. In fact, September camping is just absolutely beautiful. It's not so hot. You have some nice, you know, cooler days. It's just amazing. So I'm really looking forward to September. But can you see that? So I've added double pop-ups and then tape all around the outside. Now we don't need to add tape onto this one because this is just going to layer on top. So let's show you how to do this. Here is our base, and I'm going to take some sequins. I probably won't add as many as I did before. Okay, we will call that good. Look at those beautiful sequin shaker bits. These are Recollections, so I got these from Michael's, and it's called Chunky Glitter. Okay, so we've added some of those in. Now I'm going to peel off all of my tape. And what you want to do is you want to get your sequin bits down and layered down before you go and try to set this on top. So they're all layered down. We'll pull off that second layer of the backing. Okay, and then I am just going to be layering this right on top. Now I'm going to get up and over it. Ooh, I'm going to get up and over it a little bit so I can line it up exact. So when we flip it over, oh yeah, that's so cute. I really do like it not having as many little bits in there because you can see the little shaker bits. So isn't that cute? Okay, let's go on to the next part. So here are our back 2 pieces, this piece and this piece. Now you don't want to glue this piece down yet on all of the way around. You want to leave this part open because we're going to be putting our hinge in there. So here's that teeny tiny hinge that I folded in half, and this is going to just layer. I'm going to take that little teeny tiny hinge and hook it to the edge of this, and that is little. So let's see if we can get some glue on there. take the pin out of your glue before you glue it. Oh dear. Okay, just adding it on to one side of that little hinge. You could just cut a piece of paper and maybe even make it a little bit wider if you needed some more room to work with. Okay, and I'm just going to slide this down under here. I probably should, in hindsight, I probably should have layered this on before I hooked those two pieces together, but there's enough wiggle room that I can get under there. Okay, so we've got that little teeny tiny hinge on there, okay? That's hard to see. Now we're gonna glue this on 3 of the sides. 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna put this wooden frame around it. I'm gonna stand it up, make sure you get it even. Okay, so it's glued on 3 of the sides, and then it's still open on this side. Actually, it's not holding. Let's see. Okay, now, before we glue this side down, we're going to slip that little hinge underneath it. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so add glue onto this part of the hinge. And then we're going to slide. I'm going to add some glue. So it's all going to glue down at once. So we'll slip that little hinge over. The way that I'm doing this, it hides the hinge. So you don't even see the hinge in the card. Okay, see, you can't even see that, and yet it makes a nice hinge. So here is the one we made. Now, one thing with these files, it's so cool because you can decide what size you want to make it. Let me pull out my ruler. I think this one, is it 5.5 by, it's 5.5 by 5.5. And then I made this little one 4 by 4. So it's so cool because you can decide what size you want to make it. Okay, so let's put our sentiment. I've just popped that up, and that is going to go right inside, and it still leaves plenty of room for you to write a cute note. This says, hope you have a great day. I hope you guys are having a great day. Now, you for sure could cut this out a couple more times, but we don't want it to be too bulky that our card does not close. Does that make sense? So there's that. Now we have the fun part. This is what I love about Knitwit Collections, is you can make your card as decoupaged as you want. So you could add 5, 6, 7 layers. You could add 1, 2, 3 layers. So whatever. So we're just going to add, here's my base. Now sometimes I decide to put like double pop-ups. So I'm going to first on this one do double pop-ups, but you could just make them single if you want. Just so you know, when you're making these, you have so much flexibility and creativity. It's just you can do it however you like. So if you like a lot of layers, you would just go in and cut out more layers. So even though it just shows maybe 1 or 2 layers, feel free to, you know, print that several times to make it a more layered look. Now we're going to pop this here. I just love the layered look. Okay, oh yeah, that is so cute. And I love how you can kind of see the sentiment in the background. Okay, so I did cut this out twice, but I think we'll just leave it. That was the inside bottom. I don't want it too bulky that it lifts this up. Okay, here is this one. It says this way to the fun, and I've also added 2 layers of pop-up dots on this. Okay, this you're just going to layer it right on top. I think the easiest way is when you're doing this is to get up over the top, just to make sure it is even. Now look at this little, what is that? A buoy? A buoy? Yeah, I think it's a buoy. Buoy. Okay, here's a teeny tiny flower. Let's see, this one is going to go right here. You could even cut out 3 or 4 or more flowers and just pop those up. Okay, now I added that on, but actually it's the bigger. You work from bigger to smaller, so this one's going to go here first, and then that one's going to go. So add this one on first, and then you see how it gets smaller and smaller, and then this one will go on top of that. Oh, so cute. Here is our little sentiment, sending sunshine. Oh, it's so cute. You could put this wherever. I'm just going to put it like right in the middle. And then projects aren't done if they don't have a bow. At least my projects are not done. So we'll add a cute little bow right there. And oh, that mini version is really, really, really cute. Okay, so here are both of those. Oh, I think they just turned out fabulous. And look how fun it is to be able to choose yourself what size you want to make it. So here's our 5.5 by 5.5. And then here is our one that's 4 by 4. So cute. Anyway, if you have any questions on how to put these together, feel free to message me. I'm an open book. I'm happy to help answer your questions. I just think Knitwit collections are so much fun to put together. I would love to help you in any way that I can. But there is our cute knick-knack, Ripple and Rest. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys are having a fun crafting day. Enjoy your day, have fun crafting, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye, everybody.